Ashley is my guest today. Ashley, can I get you to talk just a little bit?
Mic check, yeah. Mic check.
Mic check. I'm Ashley Bonner.
It's about to be a mic drop.
It's about to be mic with Ashley Bonner.
That's me.
Ashley. We go. Welcome to another episode of The Tiffany Show. I'm your host, Tiffany Arcari, your TV, Peterborough Lindsay. Cogeco is where you can find The Tiffany Show. I'm even on Cogeco on demand, so you can check that out. This episode is actually super special because we're wrapping up the second season of The Tiffany Show. This is your finale, and I have a super special guest. She's got a really, really special spot in my heart. We share a lot of interests, and we also share a lot of hard things together. She's honest, she's bright, she's on fire. I see her absolutely everywhere. Please welcome to the show, Ashley Bonner.
Hi.
Hello. Cheers.
Cheers.
And clink to you, my friend. How are you this morning?
I am fabulous.
Oh, Euphoria Wellness Spa, Canoe Cafe. You're no stranger. You're a downtownie.
No, downtown is a gem for all the special spots.
Over the last couple years, I feel like we ended up crossing paths and just like continually bumping into each other. And then it was like
Electric.
Yes, that's what I was gonna. Yes.
In the electric city.
Oh, I love that pun, babe. Bring it in. So I know a little bit about you, but maybe you could share a little bit about yourself to those that are watching.
Yeah.
Maybe your hometown likes, dislikes, what do you hate, what do you love, your favorite foods, maybe a secret nobody knows about you.
Ooh. So I am from Peterborough, born and raised. In the local playground is where I spent most of my days.
Chilling out back and relaxing, all cool. I hope you got that reference.
I'm a Trent and Fleming alum. So at Trent, I studied international development and psychology. At Fleming, I took social service worker. So when I first graduated from Trent, I worked in the social work field, and I held different contracts for nonprofits and organizations. And, I knew that in my final year of Trent, I knew I wanted to be in business. I just had no idea what that business was going to be, but there was an urge there. So I remember Startup Peterborough held a one-day workshop on pitching, and I thought, if I can grab any piece of business while I'm still in school, I'll do it. Yeah, we had a pitch competition, and we broke out into groups. We ended up winning the pitch competition, and for me, it was just like another sign, this is the direction I'm probably going to end up walking, of being in business. Volunteering and that kind of stuff with social media, I found I really had a knack for it. Oh. And so I got together with a business partner in the very beginning.
Yeah.
She was doing her parents' social media. And so the two of us kind of, for the first 3 years, were building up marketing. And then she got a dream job offer in Ottawa, and so at the Parliament Library. So I was like, go get it, girl.
Yeah, that's fair.
And at that point, I decided to shift into marketing and put down other contracts and working in the social work field, and really focus on it. And that was 2019, and it was such a crazy year for me. I was running the business by myself. We had some amazing contracts, like the Canadian Festival of Spoken Word.
Stop.
Yeah, so it was such a cool festival because all the poets from across the country, some of the top ones, come to compete, and there's such a beauty about spoken word. And so this was like so fun for me as a contract, because I got to see that and tap into my own
you love
creativity.
The arts. Is it John Hedderwick?
Yes.
Local?
Yes.
Oh, he's
John.
One of my favorites. If you're watching this, John, shout out to you, buddy.
Yeah.
He's so neat.
I know, and so brilliant. Just every time he talks, he's amazing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So were you always into the arts? Like when you were a little kid, were you that creative brain too?
Yes, I was, but I don't think I really tapped into it. You know, it's more as I've gotten into my 30s, I'd say, and really tapping through photography and
your photos are beautiful.
And I actually had a couple art shows that I did for First Friday Art Crawl.
I didn't know that.
It was the art of placemaking, and so placemaking is connecting individuals to where they live and through the lens of an art. So using photography, I do it through the East City PTBO channel as well.
Yeah, follow East City PTBO. Absolutely. Give Ashley a little love.
Yes, East City is a beautiful little village, we call it. It's an island.
Village,
I call it. What are the boundaries of East City is a very contentious topic,
because hot button.
Yeah, so some locals say East City, you're not in East City if you haven't crossed water, because there's all the bridges into East City. And so I once drew a map, and it is like an island. It's surrounded by water, but you know, we have the greater East City area, which is the Beavermead area in Ashburnham.
Okay. I want to see that. Map. I never really noticed that East City was an island. If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So you grew up here.
Yeah.
Did you go to school with like Pete Dalliday and all of them?
I think
we're younger than them.
Yes, we're a little younger. But yep, I went to Otonabee Valley and Tass.
You went to Tass?
Yeah, I was
every
at
time I
Tass.
hear someone say that, I'm like, we would have been friends in high school.
Yeah.
I think Tass would have been
for
where
sure.
I wanted to be.
Once again, our energy probably would have brought us together.
Were you in theater too? Theater kid?
I was, but you know, I have had a fear of public speaking throughout my life, so I was backstage. I was always wanted to be backstage and not out front. So
Look at her with us today. Public speaking, but it's just the two of us, really, with my cell phone. So it's like a conversation and a coffee between friends.
Yeah,
where I just don't make direct eye contact the whole time.
Right.
So life, my friend, Ashley, of course it's a journey, right? Ups and downs. I wondered maybe if you could share a little bit about that journey. For those that don't know, she's on the board for the Women's Business Network. She was a recipient of the Chamber of Commerce 4 Under 40 Awards in the Excellence. Yes! I was jacked when you got that. Actually, that might have been the first time I interviewed you. I
think so.
For Kojiko?
Yeah.
And then it was in COVID too, so we ended up doing it via Zoom and doing a couple interviews.
Right. Yeah. And then from there, I feel like we're just magnetic.
Oh my, agreed. You also, like, we talk about smarketing.
Yes.
So before I kind of go down that rabbit hole, you've also run political campaigns.
Oh, right.
And we're not political on this show, and we know that. But I think it's fascinating that you have run political campaigns. There's another friend of mine that has involvement in same space.
Right.
Just really, really interesting to me. When did that happen, and how did you get into that space? Or have you always like poli-sci?
No. That was also so in my final year of university, I was actually the president of the part-time union, and that kind of sparked this interest into politics. And I had no previous experience on a union like that, so it was a huge learning curve, but from there, it just trickled to me being more engaged in the political world. And so it was a provincial election in 2018, and I went to go get and volunteer on a campaign, and I ended up doing the social media.
What?
And then in 2019, we went into a federal election, and it was the first year running marketing by myself. And so I was just going to volunteer on a light role, and I was asked to be campaign.
Breezing it out.
I was asked to be campaign manager, and so I said yes. And
Wow.
it was, once I said yes, I kind of thought, what did I just sign up for?
Fair.
What am I
Yeah,
doing?
imposter syndrome, probably.
For sure.
Fair.
And so, yes. And then in 2019, I was also, it was a 2021.
Yep.
It was a snap election, and I was asked to be campaign manager for a different party as well. So
interesting. Would you do it again? Like, do you enjoy kind of covering the people side of politics?
I love it. It is a lot. So,
a lot of work,
when I can only juggle so much at one time,
right.
and that it's I was in a different spot then where I am now, volunteering on the Women's Business Network board, doing neighborhood events and building community. So I'm just a limited capacity in what I can do for political campaigns.
Fair.
But
yeah, and you kind of have to be like following them around and getting them in the moments kissing babies, right?
Yeah.
Like, I hate to make that joke, but yeah, really neat. It's interesting just to hear kind of where your journey went, even like after graduation, and kind of firing up this marketing agency, and even like seeing where that has grown. And I do have to give you credit because you run one of the biggest yard sales in PTBO, babe.
And my goal is to make it one of the biggest ones in Canada, because that would be so cool.
That would be cool. That would be, and I wanted to activate my own neighborhood and also do like a big, because I think there are these little pockets in town, right? But yours is the biggest.
Yes, but like anyone can do it, right? And I'd be happy to share with you how to do it, about making a neighborhood map. So how that started was, through the group, and my mom was a diehard yard sailor. She would actually map out all the yard sales so she could get to the most in the shortest amount of time. So every Saturday we would go yard sailing. And I thought, well, imagine if I threw a neighborhood yard sale on Mother's Day weekend, because it's my way to kind of honor her and work through that grief and give people this connection. Because if anything, through my grief journey, I found that bringing people together and building connection actually heals me. Oh, and so
Ashley.
The neighborhood yard sale was, the first year I think we had maybe 25, 30 houses, and then it grew to about 60, and then 90, and last year we were over 100 houses. So yeah, this year is
to your mom.
Yeah, I wish she could see it and be there. She would enjoy it so much.
Too. We share that. Can we give your mom a shout out?
Yes, shout out to Brenda Bonner.
Brenda Bonner.
Yeah.
Always by our sides.
Yeah.
Fueling the community connection.
Oh, I got chills.
She's probably here right now.
Yeah.
Because my dad's always around, I feel like, too, right?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful way to honor your mom.
Yeah. It's, grief is a tricky thing. And 2019, my career was really at its peak. And, through that, when the beginning of 2020 hit, Mom had found out her cancer had come back, and she was told she had 6 to 8 months to live. And then COVID hit. So during COVID, a lot of people in digital marketing took off because they were needed more now than ever. And I chose to step back from my business and take care of my mom. And I knew I could pick up my business, my career anytime, but that was the most special to me. And so the silver lining of COVID is it did allow me that time to slow down with her.
Wow.
And so she ended up passing in 2020 September, and trying to navigate that pandemic, isolation, all of it. So October came, and it was her birthday, it's Thanksgiving, Halloween, a month after she passed. I'm in the depths of grief, and I thought, what can I do to just bring me up? Art does it, and photography. But the kids, everyone didn't get Halloween that year because it was isolated. I thought, well, maybe I could come up with a community event. And so I created this neighborhood scavenger hunt where people who decorate their houses submitted photos, and there was a secret word, and so the kids got to go solve it, and then they got a prize from the East Bank Variety. So it was this little, like, I don't have children, but it was this little way to bring community together and lift people's spirits, whether they were the houses decorated or the children doing it. And that went on for 3 years and grew quite a lot too.
Gosh.
In 2023 was the last time I held that, and there was probably over 150 families who did it, and it was on Hunter Street. So, but in 2024, I'm once again capacity.
Fair,
yeah,
that's fair.
So
we want to do all the things.
all the
right?
things,
Yeah.
yeah. So stick with the neighborhood yard sale, and that's my through and through, and yeah.
It's powerful stuff to find an avenue to channel the grief through to help you bring yourself back up and like pull ourselves out of that. Like I feel that so deeply, and I didn't realize it was so fresh after we met.
Yeah, it was. So it's been a journey, and it's interesting because when my mom passed, my grandpa had bought a peace lily for me, and the thing was full of flowers, so beautiful. And then it didn't flower for 3 years. And to be honest, I feel like I didn't flower for 3 years. I didn't flourish for 3 years. And it took me, so when it started to flower again, it felt so representative of my life and my own grief journey. So
that's so powerful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you didn't flower for 3 years.
Yeah.
Now she's a full-on rose bush. Thank you for sharing that with us. It's a lot of people don't discuss grief, and I think you and I share that storytelling and sort of that openness behind it. Because yes, it's really, really hard, but it's also a way that we can connect with each other.
Yeah.
And connection is obviously very deep and close to your heart.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to hear how you've channeled that into bringing community closer together and bringing friends close together and bringing joy to people, really.
Yeah. And I think, it helps that the healing process and sharing it with others and talking about it normalizes it, because I think a lot of people keep grief hidden, or when it happens, everything seems to go back to normal, and you're just still on that path, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the more we can talk about it and share that with others, it helps them on their grief journey.
Agreed. Agreed. It's powerful. Oh, thank you, Ashley. Well, we talked a little bit about you kind of starting your business, getting through school, all of that. We talked to life as, that journey of up and down, all those things. One common feature I think we all in our lives get challenged at some point is being underestimated. I wondered if we could talk a little bit about that today. Have you ever felt underestimated? And what did you do to prove people wrong?
So, I'm going to put a little twist on this, because I think who's underestimated myself the most is me. Through my own journey, I step into positions or things and I'm like, I can't do this. What did I just sign up for, And so it's my own, and where I'm proving myself wrong. And that has happened almost consistently year after year with the different ventures I've taken and tried. And so I'd say myself.
That's an excellent answer. Yeah, and just showing up for yourself time and time again. How cool. Yeah, to prove yourself wrong by like starting all these different initiatives and jumping in even though you like feel like an imposter, right?
Yes.
So maybe what's a challenge that you have faced that made you look at the world differently?
When I was 25, I have a lot of beauty marks, moles, freckles, whatever. And so I've had them checked since I was 18. And when I was 25, they found a small spot of melanoma on my leg. And so, being 25 and you're faced with this, you're kind of like, why me? And then also there's this fear because I have so many. Is it spread? There's so many emotions that you go through in that time. But for me, what was important is really, once again, finding the healing and walking through the journey to see, it wasn't that hard. it wasn't that bad. Like, because we caught it early, which I think is an important step in the whole overall scanning and monitoring.
Yeah.
And so, you know, they were able to get in, remove it, and got some stitches, and that was it. It was, you know, easy in that sense. But emotionally, yes, it takes time to process.
A tool to work through. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. So check your moles and get your moles checked.
The ABCD.
So what is,
So A is asymmetrical. So if it's a perfect circle, or does it go a little wonky? B is your border. So is the border the same color? Once again, is it that symmetry? C is your color. So is it different colors throughout?
Oh.
So if any of these are off, you want to go get checked and just talk to your family doctor and say, hey, I have this. What's your thoughts on this? And they'll either say, yes, it's a concern, and you'll get a referral to a skin doctor or a skin specialist, or he will just monitor it, because a lot of times it's just monitoring it, and if it grows or if it goes through a rapid growth or starts to change, that's when you want to get it looked at.
Get checked.
Yeah.
Get your moles checked. I just had a friend too last week or a couple days ago got one removed too.
And wear your sunscreen, because that's also very important.
And not just in the summertime, right?
No, all throughout the year for sure. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Sharing those skin, get your moles checked, wear your SPF. Ashley, with lots of lessons in life, obviously you've been through some really, really tough things. Maybe what's a lesson that you had to learn the hard way?
Ooh, a lesson I had to learn the hard way. I think that being in business, so I have an entrepreneur spirit, and being in business, I have tried different things, and I think the learning the hard way is learning when to pivot back or when to pivot, knowing when. So at one point I, explored a sustainable signs business because election signs are thrown out all the time.
Oh my God, yes.
So I looked into could it be a reusable bag and what the cost is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the cost it would be for the signs is not really feasible for election campaigns.
Fair.
So, and then I was looking into a neighborhood app for a while called Community Pin. Yes, and they're still on the back burner and some things cooking there, and it's really being driven by my passion for community. And we were talking earlier about people who inspire me. And so, there's Janine Taylor who inspires me, Sophie Andro who inspires me, strong women in the digital world is yes. And then there's my community and my neighborhood. And that has kept me inspired throughout the 4 or 5 years of doing this, running the neighborhood group, doing the events. I shared a love poem about London Street Footbridge the other day because people write positive inspiration on it. And someone said, every time I hear the name, a traumatic memory comes back to me. He said, but through your words and you sharing this, you have now changed that memory for me.
Oh my God.
And it's that just keeps me going. And it's so beautiful, So that's what inspires me.
It's that. Yeah, keep going. So we talked about your impact on community, kind of continuing to pick up and do these things that also fill your soul, that also inspire other people, that fuel you on. Is that part of the impact that you hope to leave behind? What is the impact you're looking to leave on this world?
That's a good question. I think that for me, one of the things that keeps me driving this neighborhood connection is that the more that we have a sense of belonging and connection, research shows we're happier, healthier, and more resilient. And so by infusing that through the eCity PTBO channel and neighborhood group, that's the impact I hope, is that I'm bringing neighbors together and creating happier, healthier, more resilient community.
We'll rename one of the bridges to the Ashley Bonner Bridge. That would be always thinking legacies. Ashley, if little Ashley was sitting at the table with us today, cheers to little Ashley, what would you tell that little girl?
you are going to surpass what you ever thought was possible. And any expectations you put on yourself, you're going to continue to go above and beyond. And you're going to do things before you're 40 that you never thought you would do. You're going to win awards. I've had 2 back-to-back with the 4 Under 40, and last year Member of the Year with the Women's Business Network.
Oh, yes.
And I would have never, like, if you had asked me when I was, never thought I would be here and be a successful businesswoman, you know, and building a strong, vibrant community too.
Oh, and sharing such important messages.
Yeah.
Ashley, if we had a museum in East City that was about your life, what would the souvenir in the gift shop be?
Well, I was gonna take it out. So I would have
Take it out. What do you got?
Sunglasses. Oh yeah, because you
what
can.
What has she got?
Okay.
I'm like, it's my show. We can do whatever we want.
Do whatever we want. And you're gonna love this. So if I had, this is what I would have in my museum, is I would have heart-shaped sunglasses. And I was gonna tell you to bring yours because I knew you have them too.
I should have brought mine. I'd be buying those in the gift shop.
Yeah. Sure. And then I would have I'd have like love signs. I have love all over my house, and plants, because I think that's just beautiful. And then I would also probably have postcards that are love letters to different things in East City, like the lift locks and the London Street Footbridge. I think, you know, there's some beauty, and I can share that, so you can share that with people too.
Yes.
Of that. So that's what you would find is East City love.
Good answer. And Ashley, as we wrap up today, what's the best thing about life?
Ooh, the best thing about life. Honestly, the older I get, the better it gets. It's like, it's you know, I just turned 39. I'm owning it.
I also just turned 39.
Cheers to 39 years.
86, baby.
Both Aries, too. Woo!
Fire! That's where the spice comes from.
But the best thing in life, is getting older, and just with the wisdom that comes with that.
Yeah, I agree. And the confidence that comes with that. And you tend to, like, care less about what people think, right?
Yeah.
We can just do what we want to do because we realize after all that time that, like, what other people think and say doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is definitely in here and the people we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up today, last question for you, Ashley. The floor is yours. If you had a message to share with those that are watching, what do you want them to know?
A couple things. Wear your sunscreen, check your skin, and connect with your community. The more you connect with your community, you're going to be happy, healthier, and more resilient.
They say we live longer lives when we connect with our communities. Agreed. Ashley Bonner, you're honestly such a light. Thank you so much for sharing with us, sharing the hard things and the big wins to celebrate. And what you're doing is just tremendous. I deeply admire you. I appreciate what you're doing for community, and I look forward to collaborations, sister.
Yes, for sure.
This has been your season finale of The Tiffany Show. Be kind. Keep going. I'm going to take a hiatus. I've got a surgery coming up, so I'll be off for like 8 weeks. And then I'm going to have a little bit of a summer break. And I will see you all in September when we reboot for season 3.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. This has been the final episode of season 2, The Tiffany Show.
You're looking to sell your home or cottage? You want to work with someone who knows the market inside and out. Hi, I'm Sarah Evans, born and raised in Peterborough, Ontario. I'm very proud to call this great community home. Contact me today and I can promise to exceed your expectations. 705-768-6278 or visit sarahevans.ca.
Not intended to solicit those currently under contract.